是非常的感觉。救命啊！
韩国冠军到死也不敢相信，挑衅中国功夫居然会落得如此惨烈的下场，竟被中国小伙当场掰断脖梗，吐血3升。究竟发生了什么，让中国勇士痛下死手，险些闯出擂台命案？只因韩国冠军听信了韩国主持人的鬼话，甚至赛前还在媒体面前公开扬言要掰断中国选手的脖子。
好好听着 ，Made in China, no, Made in Korea, yeah。
我听说明天的对手是一个中国人，麻烦你们帮我转告他，最好把脖子洗干净，因为明天我会亲手扭断他的脖子，我绝对说到做到。
这是杨卓职业生涯中打得最凶残的一场比赛，话就不多说了，让我们来看一下杨卓是如何暴打韩国冠军的。随着裁判一声令下，比赛正式开始。黑色拳套是中国选手杨卓，红色拳套则是韩国冠军杨景浩。比赛刚开始，杨景浩就直接举着拳头冲进中国小伙的内围，从这激进的打法就知道完全没将中国功夫和中国选手放在眼里。年仅21岁的杨卓不过是打了几场表现比较精彩的比赛，就被韩国官方当成了杀鸡儆猴的小怪。而这看似是一场武术交流赛，但实则却是有组织有预谋的碾压之战。毕竟在狂妄自大的韩国人眼中，韩国功夫才是世界第一，反观中国功夫就是上不了台面的花拳绣腿。此时被压制在身下的杨卓不仅没有畏惧，还在防守的同时打出防守反击。
Sorry, Yang is doing well to keep Young's arms occupied. He's getting the best of this bottom position now.
He's starting to climb up his legs. Put your arm out of there, Kenny.
Hong Kong fighter getting a couple of knees in.
Big knees from Young, but are they doing any damage? Hitting the butt. I wonder now, is Young going to burn himself out with all this heavy action?
即使韩国冠军的进攻攻势很强很凶猛，年轻气盛的杨卓也没有就此认命。这场比赛他可以是说背负着巨大的压力和质疑，无论是擂台经验还是荣誉地位，杨景浩都直接甩了他10条街。更何况这还是在韩国主场进行的一场比赛，无论是天时地利人和，杨卓都完全占据不到一点优势。而他在敢打敢拼的性格下，却有一颗是要为国争光的擂台梦。所以不到比赛结束的那一刻，杨卓绝对不会轻易说放弃，就算不能为祖国争光，也更加不能为祖国抹黑。
He's just started, along with Braden Summers, another famous Australian fighter. So Kenny joining them to train. Would love to open his own gym here in Hong Kong in the future though, Kenny.
Relentless ground and pound here from Kenny.
Really has had a determined look on his face the last few days. Kenny certainly looks a lot bigger than Yang, doesn't he? Using that advantage.
He looks to be tiring out.
貌似是杨卓施展的肘击有打到对手后脑的嫌疑，一旁的裁判连忙上前对他进行了言语警告。不过2句轻飘飘的威胁和暴打韩国小泡菜孰轻孰重，杨卓还是非常清楚的。韩国冠军不过是听信了韩国主持人的鬼话，就坚信中国功夫没有实战能力。而21岁的中国小将在杨景浩眼中更是一个千里跑来送人头的傻小子。此时处于上身围的韩国冠军内心只有一个信念，那就是要在第1回合结束比赛，从而彻底坐实韩国世界第一的地位。
Close, and when you're in a clinch throw, that is the rudimentary basis of Sander.
That pretty much sums it up.
He's working, Kenny.
Obviously not getting to use his Sander skills here at the moment. Kenny.
Yang had a Kimura, but he let it go. I think really Kenny is just so much stronger than he is.
被压制了将近1整个回合的杨卓，终于找到了起身的机会。虽然在地面环节他一直处于劣势位，但施展的精准打击也拿到了不少的有效点数。反观杨景浩，无论做出什么样的动作与招式，都无法将杨卓彻底斩于马下。既然在地面都不怕，那来到擅长环节，杨卓更加不会怕。散打出身的他，不仅熟练掌握各种散打招式，还能严格控制2人之间的安全距离。所以杨景浩如果把他当成一个只有2把刷子的2流选手，那就大错特错了。
Careful, Yang has the guillotine choke locked up. Oh, goes for the knee.
Kenny does look a bit tired already.
15 seconds to go.
Holding on to the end of round 1. These fighters from China so tough and determined.
Definitely.
All from the north of China, been handpicked. go to Beijing.
Exhausting weight cut and doing really well.
简单的拳脚试探后，两人再次来到内围缠斗环节。作为散打选手的杨卓，自然是更加想打站立。然而杨景浩作为韩国最顶尖的综合格斗运动员，那无论是地面还是站立实力，都是绝对的不容小觑。不过在对手同样是站立高手的情况下，杨景浩为了保险，只能在地面寻找瞬间结束比赛的机会。只要来到地面，那杨景浩绝对会像是吃了大粒菠菜一样，拼命的进行压制。反观杨卓，虽然并不能施展的攻击动作，但也在尽量限制对手的进攻空间。
And again, blood flowing liberally here. With 4 minutes left of the fight. Obviously opened it up again on the lip of Yeung. But this will be, if it goes the distance, fascinating clinch decision. It'll be interesting to see how the judges go with this one, that's for sure. Do you have any thoughts on that so far, Vaughn?
Well, it's definitely Kenny's fight. Blood or no blood, he's doing the damage, he's doing most of the work, and he's got the dominant position throughout this whole fight.
Blood over the face now of Yeung, affecting his vision.
But I also think that Kenny's take...
赛前看不起中国功夫和中国选手的下场，就是被打得满脸是血。即使杨景浩全程占据着压制位，那又怎样？杨卓依然可以在没有优势的情况下，用自己的拳头打出一条血路。就这么两把刷子，居然赛前还说要在1回合内掰断中国小伙的脖子。从此时两人的情况来看，貌似他更应该关心自己能不能活着走下擂台。可能谁也想不到，年仅21岁的中国小伙居然会在擂台上爆发出如此恐怖的威力。但是已至此，韩国冠军如果主动投降认输，那绝对会沦为所有人的笑柄。
See, so knowledgeable now, the Hong Kong crowd as well. We're into our third event here at the Legend Fighting Championships. We've seen some great bouts over these 3 events.
Kenny just covered in blood. Oh, look at that combo.
Good combo from the Chinese fighter. So we go 3 minutes left of this fight. And this could be a real candidate for fight of the night, Vaughn.
Yeah, I'd say so.
被打惨了的杨景浩基本上已经被打得破防了，不过他的抗击打能力也是真的强。即使杨卓上百记重拳打在他的脑袋上，也依然可以坚持继续比赛。束手无措的杨景浩居然还妄想进入地面压制对手，却殊不知越打越猛的杨卓根本不畏惧他施展的任何招式。而这场比赛也绝对堪称是21世纪最炸裂的一场比赛了。本以为这会是一场韩国冠军的单方面碾压，但杨卓却凭借冷静的头脑和犀利的拳脚打出了属于自己的优势。相信经过这场比赛以后，杨景浩肯定是不敢再说中国功夫的坏话了。
Yang, the Chinese fighter, looks fit. Trying for underhooks there. They're screaming for them in Kenny's corner. And he's got a guillotine going here, has he?
He does. Will he be able to finish? If he takes it to the ground, he's got a really good chance.
Really struggling for fuel here, Kenny Yeung.
There we go. Now Yang's on top. Kenny looks exhausted. He might...
赛前有多嚣张，此时就有多么的狼狈。在韩国的擂台将韩国冠军打成这副熊样，那绝对是一件足以载入史册的光荣事迹。而这位爱国英雄才刚刚年仅21岁，在职业巅峰时期就能打出如此耀眼的比赛，那如果再练习几年，中国的综合格斗绝对会出现一名大将。杨景浩不过是听信了韩国主持人的鬼话而已，就天真的以为中国功夫不堪一击，而狂妄的代价就会被沦为丧家之犬，只能跪在地上，岂能保住一条活命？
be able to maintain the lead.
This is where they really need the local crowd to kick in, as he's found the strength somehow to lift Yang off the ground.
Oh, that choke's deep. Oh, no, this looks bad for Kenny.
Kenny holding on.
He's got a minute to go.
Looking in real distress now, Kenny Yeung. Tapped out, and what a shame for the local fighter, Yang Duo.
最终杨卓成功降服对手，拿下了比赛的胜利。而赛前看不起中国选手的韩国冠军也为自己的所作所为付出了该有的改价。以上就是本期视频的全部内容。大家觉得中国小伙杨卓本场比赛的表现如何？欢迎在评论区留言讨论。